Hey y'all, just wanted to hop on here and give a really basic bass lesson about the major scale. I think it's one of the most important things we can know as musicians, whether you play the bass or the guitar or any instrument really. At some point you start learning some sort of scale. And that scale is the basic building blocks of intervals, and that will get us to understand what notes we can play over what chords are being played. And oftentimes, if you're a bass player like I grew up, reading chord sheets a lot, where we just would have like C, E minor, G, something like that written on a music sheet, and you were following along. And some people might say, "Well, man, I'm tired of just playing root notes. Just C, G, D, something like that." Gets a little boring. Maybe you want to understand how to play some more notes. And I think this is the basic building block. We can learn the major scale really quickly and begin to create an exercise to help us just memorize it and practice it. And it's something that once you get command of it, you'll start to hear with your ears what notes sound good as passing tones that we call. And we'll just start right in and show you the major scale. I'm going to start on the third fret, and we're going to be on, I guess it would be my third string because I have a 5-string bass. If you have a 4-string bass, we're going to be on that third string as well because we count from the bottom. But just never mind this fat low B string that I have on this 5-string if you're playing a 4-string. So I'm going to start right here, third fret, and I'm just going to run through it once, and then I'll show you where to put your fingers. So that's your C major scale. Now my fingers are really spread out. I have kind of short fingers. If you want to change your technique to like a 3-finger technique where you keep your fingers more bunched together when you play, that's fine. Carpal tunnel is a real thing, and you don't want a ton of tension in your hand when you play, especially scales. I feel like we get over ambitious and we start to like really want to go fast, and we create a lot of tension in our hands. So it's important to remember to keep your hands really relaxed while you play these things, and just figure out where these notes are, play them slowly, get yourself a metronome going. Everybody can download a metronome on their phone. It's a great way to practice rhythm while you're practicing a scale. And you're getting 2 birds with 1 stone that way. But we're going to start third fret. That's your C. And if you can hear it in your head, it's going to sound like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And that's the major scale, just like the Sound of Music. So we got third fret, third string, and I'm reaching up with my pinky to that 5th fret, same string, 3rd string, 5th fret. Then we're going to take our pointer finger and put it on the 2nd fret. This is going to be our E, so that was C, D, E, right here, 2nd fret, 2nd string. Then we're going to go 3rd fret, 2nd string with our middle finger. That's the next one. You can let go if you want to. Sorry, where are we at? C, D, E, F, that's our F note. Then we're going to hit G with the pinky up on the 5th fret again, same string, so you got 3 notes on that same string. Right there, so far we have C, D, E, F, G, right like that. Then we're going to go back to that first pointer finger, 2nd fret, 1st string on this G string here. That's going to be our E, right? Sorry, A would be the A note, G, A. Then we're going to grab B with our ring finger, 4th fret. That's our B. And we're going to hit that octave C right with our pinky. At least that's how I'm going to play it with that technique. It is a little stressful in my hand. I'm going to start revamping my technique to fit closer fingers. But anyway, here it is again, up and down. And so that's your basic C major scale. And so now in videos after this, we can start explaining chord structure and how we build chords based on that scale. But basically something like this. So say you have a progression that's, let's just say we're going to go between, we'll make it really simple. We're going to go between C and G, and we can catch that G down here as well. So we not only have a G here, we also have a G here. So remember, these scale shapes are movable everywhere we go on the fretboard. Don't let that confuse you. Just learn the shape that's movable, and now you can learn every key as you go up, all the way up. And I'll show you an exercise to get through all the frets that I learned. Okay, anyway, so say we have a chord progression, it's just C and G, and you're tired of just going. So that would just be C, C to G, G. So we have that progression, and maybe that sounds good, but maybe you want some extra notes to spice it up. We can start exploring that major scale. All those notes we just learned, we can throw almost any of them. I encourage you to just start hearing with your ear what sounds good and what doesn't, because not all 7 of those notes might not sound good. In fact, they're not going to sound good over every chord. But at least now you have a group of notes you can play. You get 7. That's a lot of choices. But we can play kind of a scalar structure if you want to go up to that G note. So now you can see how we can just start playing with those different notes, and maybe you want to switch it up even more and start, skipping some strings, throwing some different sounding intervals in there. So really, the possibilities are endless. I mean, I'm sure we got line cliches everywhere in there and all of that. But every single one of those notes can be played with as a passing tone, which is just a tone you hit on the way to another chord between that C and G. That would be all these notes right here, passing tones. That E, so I use that E, which is happens to be the 3rd in that C chord. Sounds good because that note happens to be being played in a C triad. We'll talk about that later. And so there you are. It sounds good as a passing tone. It doesn't necessarily sound good on the G chord, but as a way to get to that G note, there you go. You got something that's a little more interesting. And I like throwing the F in there a lot. If you're going to do, which we call the 4th, if we're going to count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, octave, 8, or back to the 1. We're going to count them. So this would be the 4th tone, which is happens to be F. I like throwing that in there when we're playing in C or any key for that matter. And so it just spices up whatever chord progression you're already playing with. Next, I'd just like to show you this little exercise. It's a really simple exercise, something you should do really slowly and with a metronome. Try to hit every note. I didn't set up my metronome. I should set it up next time so we have something to play with. But this is just a simple exercise. You're going to play the same pattern on every fret, and you're just going to creep up as you go through the scale. It'll just help you memorize it. It's a really boring exercise. It's not really musical, so it's not something I would do like the only thing I would do. I would play this to warm up and then maybe find a jam track on YouTube, a key of C jam track. Or in fact, any key will work. You just put your middle finger wherever the key says. So if we're in A, we can put our middle finger right here on this 4th string, 5th fret A. We can start there. And if you have a 5-string bass, you can start down here as well on any of these, and this pattern will work across 3 strings. Wherever you have 3 strings grouped like this, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Anywhere you have a group of 3 strings, you can work this scale. Really simple, movable pattern. And so I'm just going to show you this. I'll creep up about 3 or 4 frets, so you don't have to listen to me play through all 22 frets or whatever. Usually go up to the octave C. That would be your octave. So let's just go through it. just got tired of it after a while. But you would normally just go all the way up to that C and then work your way back down with the metronome. Put it on really slow, try to play eighth notes or even just quarter notes with the click. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And so that would be eighth notes. But you could just play with the click, get your fingers going on that pattern, and you'll be using it before you know it. So I dropped my little remote thing. So thanks for watching. We'll see you later.